There's a fundamental issue that we have here in the gaming discourse, and that's one where just because somebody wants to downplay something that Xbox does, they'll say the most absurd thing. In fact, look at this particular comment here on Twitter. I'm literally scrolling, and this person says, let's be honest, most gamers couldn't care less about Play Anywhere. Now, I can't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to be able to play their games anywhere that they choose to. If you've been in a locked ecosystem so much, for you, maybe something like this is not of your concern. And perhaps, but, there's a very limited number of gamers on these platforms that people play on in terms of PlayStation and in terms of Nintendo compared to a place like, PC, where a lot of people play on things like Steam, Ubisoft's launcher, and all of the above. And every PC platform so far allows for this functionality and has been enjoyed for many years because you can play on device A, you can play on device B. If you want, you can play on your device C, your desktop, your laptop. So Play Anywhere has been tradition with PC gaming all this while. And it's been a proposition that a lot of PC gamers actually do like. So to see somebody actually saying something like this, it's kind of weird. And I got to tell you, it's probably coming from a place where they maybe don't know anything else. And for them, this is all that they see, this is all that they know, and this is all they're going to pretty much carry out with their gaming. The replies are even somewhat shocking too, because it doesn't end here. Like nobody says, it doesn't really end here because some of the replies are actually quite weird. Now, this person said, I like gaming at home, big screen, big sound. When I'm away, I want to do other things. Personally, gaming everywhere is anything is irrelevant. But I don't want a new PSP though. This person said, same, I never cared about that trash. Gaming on my TV is everything. People tend to dislike what they don't want, what they want but don't have. That's what this person replied. I'm not, at this point, I'm saying yes. Because here's the thing. The PS Portal, when it was first designed, right, was supposed to be something that you needed to stream, your game from your PlayStation device. It wasn't until later that those people who bought the PS Portal, in overwhelming numbers, by the way, requested that PlayStation give them the ability to be able to stream the games from the cloud. And so that functionality was recently added. So if nobody cares about Play, or if most gamers don't play about, Play Anywhere, then why is it that gamers on the different platforms are leveraging it, including probably the PlayStation, because you said you're a gamer mostly PlayStation, right? So even the PlayStation users that bought the PlayStation Portable want to play their games anywhere. It's very weird. This person said, Play Anywhere is like Game Pass. It only works well with Xbox first-party games. This is not true. AAA third-party publishers don't want to put their games on Play Anywhere. This is not true because they lose money on sales to other platforms. This is absolutely not true. If you fire up the Xbox app, you're going to see different. You see, a lot of these folk are just talking because at the end of the day, nothing like this is being provided for them. This person said, it's interesting seeing people complain about Play Anywhere. Why do you care? I mean, you're saying, I don't want to play. I want to play on my TV at home. Well, guess what? That's Play Anywhere. You talk about how great the Portal is, which is Play Anywhere, but you cry about Switch 2 and Xbox. Just sad. This person, Evil MC, this is somebody who is mad about exclusivity going away from Xbox. I use it rarely, just like cloud gaming. If Xbox becomes a PC, then Play Anywhere is nothing anyway. It's just for backwards compatibility. Yeah, here we go. This person, Sega Channel, says, yep, just another gimmick that Xbox is using to run away from hardware and to transition people over to another device in hopes that they don't cancel Game Pass. Again, this is a lot of nonsense statements being made by people who want to, ignore the fact that these realities are actually things that gamers, a huge chunk of, by the way, have come to embrace. Because here's something that Steam has been doing, and I've said this before, ladies and gentlemen, with Play Anywhere, Xbox is just basically taking this approach of its gaming to where Steam has had it all along. In this regard, Steam doesn't necessarily care and is agnostic for the most part, as long as your hardware hits the requirement to let you play your game wherever the heck it is you want to play it. You want to build a Steam OS machine? Sure. You want to connect it to your TV? Sure. You want to stream it from one device to the other? Sure. You want to play it on a laptop that you're carrying on the road? Sure. You want to play it on a handheld? Sure. All of these things are absolutely available for the gamer and have been available for the gamer and have been enjoyed by the gamer for a very long time. I cannot imagine, and this, okay, as much as it pains me, right, to want to draw this conclusion, but you can see how a lot of PC gamers sometimes will get into these sparring matches and end up insulting some people who play on the consoles because they say stuff like this, right? Because they say stuff like this. This person said actual gamers do care. Ponies act like they don't care because it's not an option for you. I mean, I gotta say, that may be the most likely, conclusion here. You said most gamers play Roblox and Fortnite. If we set our standards to that level, then we have no innovation or growth. Incredibly silly take. This person says it's like when you never use it, you don't care. The moment you do, you wonder why they've never offered this before. It's a feature of Xbox Loyal. Doesn't really benefit gamers that are on other platforms or ecosystems. That's actually just not true. I just literally showed you how it's been a benefit for major ecosystem, PC, Steam via Valve, Epic Games via whoever, that has been there for a long time. In fact, Play Anywhere was so important that after getting the Steam Deck and realized that there was a little bit of a hurdle to, basically, invest in playing anywhere to a larger extent. That means I wanted to play just, not just my Steam games. I wanted to be able to play other games on other libraries. I chose to go ahead and get a device that will allow for me to carry a bigger library at the end of the day. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly how important Play Anywhere, or I guess I would say, it's exactly how used to Play Anywhere I've been, that it's no longer a problem for me to go ahead and actually invest in the system because it's one that actually does carry a little bit of importance. So now, with very minimal, stress, I can carry my good old games, my Steam games, Xbox games, Epic games, wherever it is that I want to go. And that, to me, is way more valuable than being locked behind a console ecosystem, and is valuable to a lot of players because on the fly, a gamer can go ahead and change their gaming device on PC. On things like the PlayStation and the Xbox, it's highly improbable that anybody has the capability to do something like that. It's just so weird. This person said, I recently purchased Supergiant Games hit called Hades and enjoyed the wonder that I can now play it on my Xbox One console, my PC, my Series consoles. One purchase and I can play in multiple devices. No need to buy it again and again. You see, that's another possibility. And this person said, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. Something that I've heavily used. To be fair, I've only used it in certain circumstances, like Power Wash Simulator, because I wanted the Xbox achievements, but hate playing it with a controller. But it's a nice feature. I think what Xbox should have done is once the game lands on Xbox, they basically throw it into their PC store and say it's Xbox. That's what they should have done. Literally just make it a smooth transition for the developers without even giving them the option. Steam, basically any game you throw on Steam is a Steam Play Anywhere. It's a Valve Play Anywhere. That's another challenge and another issue that has basically made, Xbox trying to market benefits that have always been available, kind of weird in a sense. That's why these people can talk anyhow. Because they could have just literally just put it there and it would just been a feature all this while. But I can understand as well, trying to go ahead and market it, just to get people to understand what is in the ecosystem, because PlayStation is not going to give you that. You're playing on PlayStation right now, what is your own benefit in using the PlayStation ecosystem? Nothing. They'll sell you a copy of Marvel Spider-Man on their console, and if you want to get a PC version, they're happy for you to buy it again. But in many cases, a lot of the ecosystems that are more pro-consumer allow for you to be able to have the option and the choice to pretty much approach these things the way that you want. If this is not a benefit for you and you say that most gamers don't care about it, you're clearly lying and you clearly don't know what the heck is you're talking about. Let this thing alone. If you want to downplay Xbox, by all means, please do so, but at the cost of your intellect, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to happen. People are going to look at you as being intellectually dishonest or disingenuous at best, because intellectual dishonesty is probably another really weird one, because that one takes a lot more effort, both mental and even some physical effort, to go ahead and actually express how deranged your intellectual dishonesty is. But anyways, I just want to go ahead and talk to you guys about this because I saw this on somebody's comment and I thought this is the most absurd thing I've seen. Well, not the most absurd thing, but one of the more absurd things that I've seen, especially from the Xbox downplay community. That's all they do. That's what we're going to start calling you, PlayStation fanboys. Thanks for watching the video, folks. Peace out.